have an extreme fear of needles. So when he was expressing, having to have the doctor talk it through with him. What kind of needle is this? What kind of anesthesia are we using? How is this procedure going to go? Am I going to wake up during this? If you're looking for a book that is going to make you really appreciate those around you, value your surroundings a lot more, this book will do it for you. It was my first time reading a book by this author. The book is available with Kindle Unlimited. To say I can't even lie and act like I wasn't holding back some tears while reading this book because the author was so vulnerable. There's no way you can't have some type of a either emotional response or at least feel like, oh my God, you know what? Things are not that bad and I need to appreciate every little small thing. The book is titled Prayers and Po' Boys, a cancer survivor's oh my gosh, why did the a cancer survivor's journey through chemotherapy and beyond. It is by Larry Singleton. So Prayers and Po' Boys is the author's account of his own journey with cancer, taking readers from the earth-ending diagnosis to the ups and downs of chemotherapy and ultimately to Singleton's miraculous recovery. He details not only the physical pain he dealt with, but the mental and spiritual toll both cancer and chemotherapy took on his life. Readers will find themselves inspired by Singleton's courage in the face of everything cancer had to throw at him, including the extreme side effects that accompany chemotherapy. Prayers and Po' Boys will touch and uplift audiences as they experience firsthand the trials Singleton experienced as both a cancer patient and survivor. So, if you guys have been following my channel for even just a short amount of time, this book was actually on my to be read list. So I feel like I made a video about 3 weeks to a month ago, and I was saying how I'm going to read this book at some point. So I don't have just a never ending TBR. Like I do actually get to these books at some point. There were a lot of parts in the book that made me realize when things happen to us, we have a way of never forgetting that date. Like for the author, they said that December 17th began like any other typical Thursday. The events of that day will forever change my life. It started off with him going to a doctor's appointment and them saying like, oh, like you have this swollen lymph node. And the author had realized over time that he was a little bit more fatigued, a little bit more tired. He was losing weight. But at the same time, I think when we're working hard and you're working a physical job, it is easy for us to just bypass it and to just think, oh, I'm being more active and stuff, so maybe I'm burning more calories than I'm eating. If the first chapter of this book didn't teach me anything, we have to start paying more attention to the signs our body is giving us. I think we are so deep in hustle culture and pushing ourselves to the limit, pushing ourselves to the max, that sometimes our body is literally screaming out, I need you to hear me. I need you to see that something isn't right. Go and not only get your yearly checkups, go every few months just to go make sure everything's okay. Make sure that your cholesterol is fine. Make sure that you don't have hypertension. Make sure you don't have high blood pressure. Make sure that, you're not anemic. We all joke and laugh about people chewing ice and stuff. That is a legitimate condition. People really have to look into it. So to get back to the book itself, I can imagine what it was like for him to hear from the doctor. I don't want to jump the gun, but based on the swollen lymph node, night sweats, and your drastic weight loss, my preliminary assessment would be that you have a classic case of Hodgkin lymphoma. Now, I have worked in healthcare. Well, I did work in healthcare for about 6 years. But I feel like every time you hear a certain diagnosis and it's attached to cancer, your first thought is like, I don't know. I think everything just kind of goes silent. And I've never been diagnosed with cancer. I do have a family member who's battling it for the second time now. But it's just something about finding out that your loved one or friend has cancer. The world just stops. And I know it stops for the actual person diagnosed with it in a different way. But as their loved one, it hits different. It hits different because you're like, I want to do something. What can I do? How can I help? And unfortunately, at times, the biggest and best thing you can do is to keep them up in spirits, to pray for them, to be there for them, to sit with them through the chemo, to sit with them on nights when maybe they're too weak or too tired to wash their clothes or fold this, or to just clean, or sometimes just sitting there and just being there makes a difference. Sometimes that phone call of just calling and, hey, I'm checking on you, that makes a difference. This author encounters so many people along the way at the hospital that he was going to that had an effect on his life, from Miss Helen to some of the people that he met. I remember him meeting someone, I believe, named David. I want to say there was someone named John. There was a few other people that he had met, and it just, everyone was on their different journey with cancer. Some people were getting ready to ring the bell. Some people were like, ringing the bell means I done beat my cancer. I'm out of this. I'm out of that. I'm out of the dark end. I'm good. I know everything's going to be okay. He actually ends up encountering someone that rang the bell, and you want to be celebrating with them, and you want to be like, oh, great, so it's over. And the person had to tell him, like, yeah, no, like, this is the end of my chemotherapy. They've done all that they can do. My cancer is not in remission. I do share the same sentiment with this author of the fear of needles. Your girl's not built for it. I'm not a needle. I'm not. With that being said, I do have multiple piercings. I do have 2 tattoos, but that is different. I've only had an IV once in my life. I have an extreme fear of needles. So when he was expressing, having to have the doctor talk it through with him. What kind of needle is this? What kind of anesthesia are we using? How is this procedure going to go? Am I going to wake up during this? I was right there with him through that. I am so afraid of needles. I messed around and accidentally had my daughter at home after 17 hours of labor because I just thought I had more time. They were saying on the phone I had more time. And truth be told, I'm afraid of needles. So I completely understand the sentiment on that. There were so many moments where I smiled by reading this book. I had to sit here and sit it down for a second just because some of it was heavy. And I was like, all right, let me really process what I'm reading. Let me really take my time with this. Prayers and Po' Boys in the title is because he was running off of those prayers, but he also was actually eating during chemotherapy. Some people can't eat. Some people go through nausea and they're experiencing food aversions, and it's challenging, and it's easy to say it's challenging as someone that didn't experience it. I think this author gave a very, very vulnerable introspection into what it is like. Some of the pains that he described, it scared me. It absolutely scared me. I highly, highly recommend this book. This is a 5-star read to me at this point. I know I originally stumbled across this book because I think I saw it being promoted through like a sponsored ad on Facebook, and then I started following the author. This was about maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. The days become blurred at this point, so I can't even say exactly when it was. But I highly suggest this book. This author has other books out as well. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've read another book by this author. Would you gift this book to someone that you know is going through cancer? Let me know, because I feel like I would. It's to the point where now I feel like my family member, I kind of want to gift it to them. He's not really a reader, so I don't know what he's going to actually do with it, but I highly, highly recommend it. If you have not already, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe, follow button. I am on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Fable. I am a little bit of everywhere. You can find me either at French Allsbrooks or FrenchyFrench_. I come with videos like this at least twice a week, where I'm doing full-on book reviews. I drop at least 3 videos a week now as well, of books that are on my to-be-read list, books that caught my attention. I am just like knee-deep in the book community at this point. If there's another book that's similar to this that you guys suggest I should read next, drop the title below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.